So, about those structure matrices we keep talking about building, you know, the ones I've been talking about for about 2 or 3 episodes now. Today, we finally build them. This will totally not be a running theme or pattern in the series whatsoever. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. So, we have planetary logistics set up right here. And let's take a quick look at our power production. We are just fine at the moment, but that is likely to change as soon as we begin researching things again. So let me go ahead and plan where I'm going to build this matrix lab, but we're going to build backwards from the matrix lab once that is done. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different to what I typically do, because this is a good time for me to undo something that I did previously in the series. So before we get straight to the structure matrices, I'm going to set up a buffer for our other cube types. And there's a chorus of people in the comments silently, or maybe not silently right now, going, thank you. I almost said God, but no, thank you, Hadrian, for finally doing this. So that's what I'm going to do. We just need to think about the most efficient way to do it, because we do have that storage down in place. You know, okay, yeah, here's what I can do. It's not going to be amazingly pretty. All right, angle too wide. There's that old chestnut. All right, so now we've got some output set up for the red cubes, and we'll actually see some glowiness as a result of this, which will be interesting. Now, one thing I could do is I could go ahead and just make... Yeah, I have an idea. This will be interesting, but I'm going to do it. We'll see how it goes. Let's delete all of those, and then we're going to elevate... Well, that elevation is not going to work. I call shenanigans on that, but we can fix that. Hang on. Let's elevate this. Bring it down to ground level. Delete that one. And then you should still be able to pull into that storage. Yes, you can. You should still be able to pull into there for research production purposes. Looks like we do need a new Tesla tower, which is not a problem. I'll go ahead and set one up here. That might be useful for other things I'm going to build in this immediate area too in just a moment. So, okay, so now with that being done, what I'm hoping to be able to do, maybe, perhaps, we'll see, is a little bit of this. There we go. Little bit of this. Sorter. Oh, it's going to collide with that line. I can fix that, though. I can fix that. There is a way to fix that. So let's go ahead and delete you. First of all, we're going to go ahead and place the sorter now. Angle too wide. For you too, huh? Et tu, Brute? Alright, well, we're going to have to be a little bit more complicated then, which wasn't the plan, but that's okay. Let's, first of all, delete that sorter. Let's take all of you, put you there. All of you, put you there. Okay, now we can delete you. Now, funny enough, watch this. I will continue to spend an inordinate amount of time in this series and in future series in Dyson Sphere Program talking about how great this engineering team is, how great this programming is, how well designed the game is. It really is. However, I never said it was perfect. There are definitely some gameisms, there's some goofiness that you can learn to mess around with given the right opportunity. And that is one such example, what I just did. All right. So there's that. And then the other issue was simply getting this up to there. And yeah, that's not an issue at all. What we'll do is just Guide the line like so. And then we still need you to have those. So there's that. So now, interestingly, we have this storage filling back up. I'm a little bit curious about that, because wasn't it full before? Where did... Okay, I'm not going to overthink it. Everything's fine. All right, so we now have those going in. And what I can do now is I can set up a matrix lab. Let me go ahead and do this properly, by the way, so I actually get the resources. It's not for a particular reason, but it's kind of just the principle of the thing. Because when you build, as I've said in the past, when you build on top of trees, when you build on top of stones, and you don't destroy them manually, you lose the resources. So, you know, you never know what tiny little morsels you might get for doing that directly. Not so much a good habit to keep in practice on the home planet, but when you start breaking things down on off-world planets, when you start going to other planets in the solar system, planets in other solar systems as well, then you start really running into situations where you can benefit from breaking things down manually, because there are like extra resources and rare resources in there. Is it ever like huge amounts? No, of course not, but still, it's pretty nice to have. So let's now, with this one... Okay, so this is not going to be flawless. I will eventually have to do some more storage movement, because if I'm going to set it up this way, then I'm going to need to have additional lines coming in to the research tower. But for now, we'll set it up as you see it here. And here we flip and go again. Same deal. Oh, that's what it was. I had this limited, didn't I? I remember now. I remember now. I do remember. I remember. Okay. So, same deal. We're going to need to temporarily move all of you. No, stop it. As I make a giant mess. And make another mess. Okay. Now give me the rest of those, please. You're thinking right now, we're totally not getting structure matrices set up this episode. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's happening. We're right around the corner from it, but I'm just had a few small road bumps. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Road bumps? Bumps. Road bumps. It's going to be fine. I can use words. All right, so there's that. Now with that gone, we're going to do the same bloody thing, by the way, because I love this to death. Now watch this. Ha! Doesn't look pretty, but it works. All right, so now we're going to move you back into place for now. Although there's an argument to be made for just leaving it. There is, isn't there? Let's just leave it. Because we're going to need to back that off anyway. I just said that. Why not just go ahead and do it? You know, why not just go ahead and do it? So that's what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and do it. All right, and that tree is going to get deleted automatically in violation of all the principles that I've espoused this episode so far. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen. Consistency is key. All right, so we have 2 inputs required for these. You know what else we need? We need more of these. So let's get it done really quickly, because we need an additional, like, how many more? 4. Nice, that's exactly how many we're making, so that's kind of perfect. All right, so I've still got an input going in there, and this is just an overflow. Very good. I'll probably end up moving that again at some point, but for now, let's just go ahead and place these. So one of the resources that I need for this process is already set up for import here. Another one, I still need to set up a kind of production line. So let's just go ahead and set up a diamond line like so. And actually, I have some diamond in my inventory from when I previously deleted some diamond production that I built kind of prematurely. So these diamonds. Nice, you can see those logistics bots flying our sorters in as we need them automatically for us, which is just lovely of them. So appreciated. They're such dutiful little bots. Okay, and then I think right about here is where we will build, just so that there's a good amount of overlap. Is that right, though? That looks like it's... Yeah, it's one farther away than the other one. Not sure how that happened. The grids just don't look quite the same. Oh, it's because it's... Okay. It's a visual trick. All right, so that's one of the 2 resources that's required. And you can see that they're not flowing smoothly at the moment, but they will be soon. The other thing we will need is these titanium crystals. Now, thankfully, we have right here... Currently, this is a manual import. That's why I started off the episode standing on top of this box. Titanium is about to become really, really important to us. So I'm going to set up a second line here. And as a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, we're going to transfer this entirely. This is going to be a titanium kind of demand location where titanium that is imported gets flown when I drop it off. But for now, what we'll do is we'll take the titanium out of this box and we'll drop it in here. Like so. All right, so the titanium storage is now there. We're still going to have titanium output from here. Specifically like this. And then I can say that I would like that to be the titanium. That will be the diamond line automatically. And now, all we have to do, that's not the only location that can be output. I need to have some assembly machines making this next particular ingredient. Now, let's go ahead and do a little bit of land filling, not a lot. We can keep some water here. As I've said many times in the series, I don't want to deface Alpha Andromeda too much as a planet. I want to let its natural beauty kind of remain. So, doing my best to build around it. Let's see. Yep. I'm going to build exactly on that line to start. And let's have 4 to begin here. Could eventually have more, but we'll have 4 to begin. And actually, with that in mind, since there could eventually be more, let's go ahead and delete that. All right, so these will pull from 2 additional resources. Specifically, actually didn't need them right up along the diamond line. That's a little bit of a misplacement, but I'm going to roll with it. It's not going to break anything per se. And these will pull in these. So we're making titanium crystals is what these are. And titanium crystals require both organic crystal, which we are making synthetically right now. Eventually we'll be able to find it in direct resource veins, which is quite cool. As I've said, that's one of the next stages of kind of the mid-game of Dyson Sphere Program, is finding resources that do things more efficiently, which is why you see icons like this all over the place. But for now, we are making it ourselves using plastic, using refined oil, and using water. And the titanium crystal is going to be one of the key ingredients for the structure matrices. So now we just need to run an additional titanium line, which is not an issue whatsoever. We're going to run that like so. I actually think this might work perfectly. Let's see. Yes, it will. Flawless. I didn't even plan that, to be completely honest with you, but I know I should say that I planned it, but eventually I'll get there. For now, we're doing our casual first ever Dyson Sphere Program series, and I'm just happy that happened. I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm just happy it happened. So let's now, for these, perfect. Amazing. So now those are being produced, and here let's not put the sorters in the wrong direction. There we go. We're now producing structure matrices. I told you it would happen this episode. I told you. There we go. Our very first structure matrices are being produced. Now, we don't actually have any research going at the moment because pretty much every research option that we have in front of us requires structure matrices, but now we have them. So I'm going to start with something that's a little bit more advanced, but also doesn't require that many structure matrices. So the integrated logistics system, which will help us in a number of ways. Now, why are you not... Oh, did I not set up... Oh, I'm a dummy. Oh, I'm a dummy. No wonder it looked weird. Okay. Here's what we'll do. Here is what we will do. Same as before. Just put the sorter in the wrong direction. It happens. It happens. Happens to the best of us. There we go. Wow. Can't believe I didn't catch that. It's like, why is it not researching? All right, so now that is being researched. What else can we research? Energy storage. That's an important one that I frankly should already have. Notice that a lot of these research projects don't have nearly as much of a requirement. This is a 10th of the requirement of the electromagnetic matrices and the energy matrices. It's a 10th. So we don't have nearly as much to worry about there. The geothermal extraction is one that I can go ahead and queue up. That also doesn't require yellow, thankfully. Neither does solar sail orbit system. Ooh, the EM rail ejector. So we can very soon start doing Dyson Sphere type things with that particular tech. Now that thruster is going to be very important, the reinforced thruster, because that is part of what enables us to send resources automatically between planets, which will be happening quite soon. There's Mark II proliferator paint, which I will go ahead and research. And then mini fusion power generation. So it looks like we are right on the cusp of deuterium as well. High strength titanium alloy. Let's go ahead and queue that up. And then we'll queue up a couple of upgrades for Icarus. All right, the queue is currently full, so we can't queue up anything more. That's fine. Let's have things running as they are. What I need to do now is I need to get diamond production actually going, because right now this is all running on the diamonds that I kind of had in reserve, which are quickly dwindling. So what I need to do... I think what I'll do is just kind of have a main production area over here. Hang on, where do I have these going? All right, so right now I have them going there. Yeah, this is what I'll do. I'm going to reconfigure this slightly. Now we're going to have another spot for these to spill out. And we'll just have it go to about here. And ironically, the way that I'm currently setting up, it's not clear to me that we really need to have diamond storage over here with what I'm about to do. So I might reconsider that in just a moment. For now, let's go ahead and just get the diamonds producing. We'll start with 4. You know what? Let's do 6. Do I not have one? No, I don't. All right, let's go ahead and grab some additional coils. All right, there's that. And now with that, I can build several more of these. So I'll build them one at a time. And I can lay down... Yeah, if I put you right here, that will power all 5 of those. And maybe we can have a 6th just for the giggles. And we're going to move you slightly as a consequence of that. Why don't I have you powering these 4? And then you will power the adjacent group which may eventually end up being slightly larger. I do look forward to having better power distribution buildings, because Tesla towers can get a little bit messy from the air. You just see all the lines extending, and if you're being even remotely OCD about it, it can start to look kind of less uniform than the rest of what you're trying to build. Okay, no, we're not trying to build that. We're trying to build diamond. So I do have some proliferator paint set up here that is being produced, but I don't yet have... That's right. I needed the microcrystalline components in order to make that. I was just thinking about the proliferator paint and the fact that I would be able to set it up there. So let's not forget about that. That might be one of the next things I can do. I can go grab some microcrystalline components from a neighboring planet. But for now, I just want to make some diamonds. And let's kind of see how much that's affecting our storage of energetic graphite. Doesn't appear to be. We still seem to have plenty of energetic graphite for now. So what I will now do is... Yeah, let's just do this way. Well, no. Let's change it slightly. Here's the output for the diamonds. Look at all those diamonds. So many. We're rich. Okay. Now, a couple of different ways I could handle this. I could set up a storage and have some logistics bots fly it over to where the diamonds are actually being stored, or I could just have the diamonds cross here, which is totally doable. And that's... I actually think that's what I'm going to do. Hang on. Let's come right here. And I've elevated it myself here. So now we're exactly sitting over... Oh, no, we're not. Alright, so we're going to have it come down like so. And so this main line will empty out, and eventually there will be no more diamonds there in storage, and I think I won't worry about that, at least for a while. We have more than enough of the structure matrices anyway. Those are not going to be in heavy demand for a while until we start getting a little farther down the tech tree. How are we doing on power? Okay, so now we're flirting a little bit more with our maximum generative capacity. So a couple of different ways we could deal with that. The most obvious is staring me in the face. Why don't we go ahead... I need to grab some iron ingots, and we're going to grab some gears as well, because I've got them just sitting here waiting for something to be done with them. And we will then build... looks like we can build 15 of them. We don't need 15. Integrated logistics. Okay, so now we have the automatic piler. It can be built onto the conveyor belt when the power supply is sufficient. It can automatically integrate 2 consecutive cargoes into one, which greatly improves the carrying capacity of the conveyor belt. So basically imagine that when you see a line of resources like so, just imagine that this from like here to the middle of that line is 50. We're just going to wing it and say that's 50 diamonds. It's probably pretty close. It's maybe more like 100. But with the piler setup, that would be doubled. So it would be like 100 to 200 diamonds in this same space of the line if they were piled properly. So that's obviously a very, very big win. Okay, so I'm going to start consuming some additional refined oil here, which could pretty soon put some pressure on our power supply, or on our oil supply, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Ooh, there is definitely iron messing with me there. So I just did a little bit of landfilling there. Okay, we want you to be able to completely bypass that. There we go. All right, so it's right here that they need to be built. And can they be immediately daisy-chained? Yes, they can. So let's go all the way back. So we're doubling the power production we are going to get from our fuel. This is a handy thing to do because fuel is something, this particular type of fuel, this refined oil, is something that can pile up quite a lot in DSP. So I am completely okay with the fact that we're going to double our production of it. And now, as a consequence, you can see that we have a much better buffer on top of our power situation. Okay, so we have structure matrices underway. We have some research going that is going to be very helpful. Let's also take a look at our fuel situation. Yeah, we need to get some additional fuel items. Specifically, we need more of these. There we go. We were almost out of them. It's really been a game changer since we started using those fuel cells. Let's go ahead and leave the home planet. We don't have a ton of storage space at the moment, but we might be able to leave some things on Alpha Andromedae 4 when we get there. Speaking of getting there, there you are. You're nice and close. Love it. I couldn't see it out on the other side of the star, and I was like, watch it be right behind me. And that's where it was. So we're at 600 meters per second. Speed up a little bit. Some of the upgrades that we have queued up now are going to help us with the capacity and the energy generation capacity as well. So not only the capacity for the amount of energy that can be stored by Icarus, but the rate at which energy is generated from fuel. So I'm really looking forward to that. Because again, that just keeps getting better and better. And eventually we'll have better fuel cells as well, even better than the hydrogen fuel rods. I mentioned earlier that deuterium is on the horizon, and that is certainly an important element in science fiction, as many of you know. All right, so let's speed up a little more. We're at maximum speed now. Doing pretty well researching energy storage. Energy storage is kind of a unique building because it's one of the few buildings in Dyson Sphere Program that has a purpose both in the way it is... I don't know. I mean, I suppose all buildings have a purpose in this way, but it's one of the most versatile buildings because you can use the batteries by placing them on the ground, or you can use the batteries by shipping them around as items in inventory carried by you or by a storage robot of some kind. A logistics bot of one kind or another. All right, so you can see we're getting automatically restocked on all of our things. Primarily titanium. We're going to see that number climbing, which is quite nice. So let's take a look at what I have these set to. Or it's rather what I suppose I have these set to. So I want to carry at least 1,000. So they're bringing that to me rapidly. Although they're not bringing that much that quickly, which is interesting. Oh, it's because I had that first stack up there. I didn't see that. Filled in a gap in my inventory, probably one that formed when I was getting those hydrogen fuel rods. Okay, what are we here for? We are here for these. Oh, do we have a silicon production problem? We do. We have a silicon production problem. We're not running short here, it's just our mine is not functioning quickly enough. I see what's happened. Okay. That splitter is really weirdly placed. Why did I do that? What in the world was I thinking? All right, so we've got that picked up. Oh, just kidding. We don't. Now we do. What in the world was I thinking when I built that? There's now a comment on a previous episode that I think I understand a lot more what they were referring to. You know who you are. I thought you were referring to one that was further down here, but you were probably talking about that one, because that's just weird. Okay, so that partially solves the problem, because it splits the resources from different directions. But we can probably do even better than that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this episode here. In the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the extras that I have of these, which I don't have a ton of extras for these at the moment. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, and the reason is we've got a bit of a silicon shortage, which is ironic. But what I can do is I can at least grab some silicon. That's one thing I can definitely do. So these robots are still bringing me titanium, which is very nice of them. So let me see if I can store... Yeah, I can only store up to 200 in these stacks. This concept continues to amuse me. It's nice that there's partial storage, up to 2 stacks in each one, but, like... how it works precisely is not something I've quite wrapped my head around yet. New systems, we'll get there. Alright, so... Oh, hello. I remember someone pointed this out in comments as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and take care of this. Yeah, see, this is what bugs me. I have to pull them into my inventory to use them. Why is that? They're in my inventory. They're in the logistics space. Alright, so that's the other reason for part of the silicon shortage. Alright, so yeah, in the next one, we are going to grab what we need from those. And after that, we'll head back and we'll start building some proliferator paint, which will help with the efficiency of everything on the home planet. And we also, as you saw, we have the second stage of proliferator paint already being researched. But we also have some additional things that we can build. We have supermagnetic rings, which we can construct, as long as we import these electromagnetic turbines. And these are all processes which will get easier and easier now that we are building these, and we'll soon have the ability to ship them automatically, rather than carrying them manually back and forth as we've been doing so far. And that, I would say, is probably our next very big milestone that we're going to hit, is getting some ships moving these resources back and forth between planets for us in a way that we are no longer having to do that manually, and we can really focus on doing Dyson Sphere type stuff, like with the solar sail orbit system. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, or other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at noon US Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.